Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Jenn, the Intuitive Phoenix. So glad to be here tonight for another pop-up psychic healing session, which is an opportunity for you to ask your questions and get answers. You can ask questions about me and what I do and how I do it, or anything related to intuitive healing, psychic healing. You can ask questions about services and events, or you can ask questions about something that you're struggling with, something that you're stuck on, or you can't seem to get out of your own way, or you're repeating patterns, or you're in pain. Hey, Ruth Ann, welcome. This is your opportunity to ask those questions and get some answers. If you're joining, I would love for you to say hello and say where you're from or where you're joining us from, because we get people from lots of different places. And of course, some of you I have connected with either at a live that I've done before or through some of my events, or you might already be working with me or something that we already have connected and know each other. But this is an opportunity to ask your questions and share your comments, get feedback. So if you've got questions, you've got comments, post them below. The people who post first get responded to first. So feel free to jump on in and see what it's all about. I look forward to what is coming. I'm never quite sure who or what's going to show up in a pop-up healing session, or even in my group sessions or my one-to-one client sessions. Don't always, well, I won't say, don't really ever know what's going to happen or what's going to flow. Sometimes that's a bit of the challenge for people to say, well, what is it that you do and how do you go about doing it? Much like you'll see tonight if you hang out and watch, or when you watch it at a later time, what happens can vary from person to person. It can be similar to what you see with someone else. There are some steps and a format that I tend to follow if I'm told to follow it. And then there's other times anything I've done before just gets thrown out and we're starting fresh and doing something that I've never done before. It depends on what information is coming through for the person or people who are asking questions or asking for information. So I really, well, to be honest, go with the flow and how would I describe it? Am the interpreter, I sometimes say. I'll receive information and share it with you. I can be a messenger, but I share it with you in a way that you can understand it, the way that you can receive it, the way that that you can take action with or get results with. So again, if you're here and you're watching, say hello, say where you're from, and if you've got a question or comment, post them below. Okay, so Ruth Ann says, speak into energies at this time. What is out there that we benefit from knowing? Okay, so that's a big question. And I say that because on some level, all questions are big questions, because if they're relevant to us, they're important to us. Let me see what I am receiving as far as speaking to the energies out there. Is there something I can respond to for Ruth Ann to speak in the energies that are out there? I'm told yes. Okay, so what might that be? Okay, I'm told it's a time of possibility. It's a time, it's the time of potential. It's a time of movement and coming together, of great support. It's a time that our differences are important. Is there something else for me to say about that specifically? Yes. I know for a lot of us and a lot of clients that I work with, a pain or a trauma that we've experienced has been feeling like we didn't belong, wanting to belong, wanting to feel like we fit somewhere, which has us always focusing on being like others. And while belonging and fitting in and being a part of something can be important and certainly has its benefits, on the other hand, it is what sets us apart and what is unique about us that is beautiful. I am somebody that spends a lot of time in nature and will take time to look at leaves on a tree. Now, from a distance, you could say, okay, the leaves all look alike. And I am aware that I'm keeping this really simple, and part of you might be shaking your head going, well, yeah, of course. But when you get up close and start looking at them and looking at each one, while they're similar, there's also a lot that's different about them. And it's those differences that give us the different shades of green and give us depths of green and boldness of green. It's also the difference that can lead to, does light shine through or not? Does it offer more protection? If it's raining, again, as somebody who hikes and finds himself in the woods on a regular basis, I sometimes like when there's a good cover of leaves. Some trees are better because they're going to keep out more of the water. I'm going to get less wet. And then there's others that I know that the rain's really just going to come on through. So to answer Ruth Ann's first question or statement, what's out there? Yes, we want to find common ground with others. It can be what brings us together. And it's important that in doing that, we don't lose sight, connection, or awareness of what is unique about us, what stands out about us, what we have to offer. Because we all have a purpose, we all have gifts, we all have abilities that, while sometimes we can convince ourselves are not as important as the work somebody else does, I'm here to tell you there is no one in this world that is more important than you. And you and you and you and you. So keep that in mind. Own, acknowledge, celebrate what has you, well, being you. Ruth Ann, let me know how that resonates with you as far as answering the question of what is out there and that we'd benefit from knowing. And thank you for that, Ruth Ann. Now, I've seen some people come on and get off. If you're here, say hello, say where you're from, and if you've got a question or a comment, feel free to post those, and I will get around to them. And I see that, let's see, Debbie Lynn has joined. Hello, Debbie. And Heather, hello, Heather. And then Danielle. Oh, I love this. Super mommy. Yes, I am a mom of 4-legged kids. I do not have 2-legged kids. And I find that challenging enough that the women, well, I say women, but it's not always women who are mothering. The people out there, the parents out there who are taking care of kids, among everything else, yes, superpower right there. So welcome, Danielle. And then we've got Melissa. She says hi from Hayward County. And then Danielle goes on to say, I feel some sort of positive energy connection to me. Oh, I love that. Like it hit me out of nowhere, and it's very strong. Well, thank you for sharing that, Danielle. Yeah, thank you. I was going to try to get into it and think, no, I don't need to get in my head about that. I can just accept that. It's one of the reasons I love to do this. Sometimes people say, well, you can really connect with people even though you're not talking directly to them. Well, here's a perfect example that yes, we can connect even if we have never spoken a word to each other, which based on the name that pops up with Danielle, I don't think we've met, but I'm very happy to have you here. And we've got some first timers. So if you've got a question, if you've got a comment, ask. This is a time that if you've been wondering something, if you find yourself, again, repeating the same thing over and over again, or you feel like, oh, I've done that, or how come I can't let this go or can't move past this? Now's a perfect time to ask questions. And, or if you're just wondering about something. You know, Ruth Ann, she has joined me a couple times on these pop-ups, and sometimes the question is about herself, and other times, like today, it's more general. And I can tell you at first, I was like, whoa, that's such a big question. And then I learn and remind myself, okay, it's time for me to go in to receive the information, and it starts to flow. And I have information to share. So thank you, Ruth Ann, again for sharing that, and for the others who are here and who are joining, it would seem, for the first time. I know that sometimes asking a question, certainly that can be seen by others or heard by others, can feel scary, can feel vulnerable, and, well, we haven't known each other, so people don't always want to do that. That is okay. You can, yes, share it here. And I will say that sometimes I say things, sometimes you hear things that you don't agree with or that you don't have any experience with, and that's okay. What I say is if something resonates, if something, is meant for you, you'll hear it. And if you hear something that you're like, oh, I don't know about that, just listen with curiosity, because it may surprise you. All right, I've got some comments here. Ruth Ann says, thank you. She says, I thought it was a good way to begin. We are each enough. Yes, indeed. It was wise to be open to potential and possibilities, or it is wise to be open to potential and possibilities. Yes, they are all around us. And I'm going to speak further on that here for a moment. A lot of times we say, oh, I don't know what's next, or I don't know what to do, or it's not clear. And what I would say is the possibilities are there, the opportunities are there. What we often do, and I say we because been there, done that, still do it at times. And the clients that are coming to me, the clients that I talk to on a regular basis, that I'm talking to daily, one of the things that comes through is we often shut down possibilities and our potential before it even has an opportunity to fully show up. We may have something come into our awareness and you think, oh no, or I couldn't possibly, or I can't do that, or I don't know how I would do that, so no. And we're constantly saying no to ourselves all the time. We're limiting ourselves. We often are our biggest obstacle. I can tell you right here, I've constantly been my biggest obstacle and still am. Of course, I'm learning and it's improving and it's shifting, and now I'm not like huge obstacle, it's getting smaller. But part of that was learning to say yes to me, hearing the voice that's me and responding to it, saying yes to that. So again, thank you, Ruth Ann. And Bridget Ann says hello. And Danielle says, she says, I believe so. She's like, you have said words that I needed to hear. No, we have not met yet. And I'm curious why I can't let go of the trauma of my childhood. I say I have, but it keeps haunting me. Now, I have spoke on this. I actually created a Facebook Live video probably about an hour and a half ago on this topic. And it's very relevant to what Danielle just said, as far as I feel like I have let it go, but it keeps haunting me. Now, I won't rehash that video, because what I'll do is I'll post the link to it below, so that way for those of you who want to hear it, it's easy access and you can hear me speak on that, and that way I can keep answering questions. And so Danielle, thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to do some checking in. Let me see, is there anything to share with Danielle at this time? Yes. Has she let the trauma go of her childhood? Yes. In its entirety? Yes. Okay, so Danielle, absolutely, when I post this link, and I called it something about working hard, but I will post it below. I'll tag you in it. That video is definitely for you, because I am receiving confirmation that you have done the work to let your childhood trauma go. And that video will explain why it keeps haunting you. And depending on how things flow, I may come back to it in the course of this live right now. Let me see if there's anything else for Danielle. Yes. Okay. There is a belief statement that I want to share with you, Danielle. Now, of course, if you've heard me speak before, you've heard me speak about beliefs. Beliefs are really important. They can either block us or they can boost us. And so we want to make sure that we're aware of the beliefs that we're living by, and we want to, those that are in our subconscious or in our unconscious, we want to pull them into our conscious, and we want to be reevaluating those, so that way we're not doing all of this work and saying, okay, why am I not getting results? And we've got this unconscious old belief operating. So let me see which one's coming up for Danielle. I have a list that I've created, and I'm going to pull from that list. Okay. Okay, so Danielle, what's coming up for you? The belief statement for you. It is safe. It is safe to be in your body. Okay, yes, it is safe to be in your body. So one of the things that sometimes happens when we feel like something's haunting, and I'm going to touch a little bit on the video that I was just talking about. What happens is our mind gets involved. We've done this work. We've done this work, and we're feeling good about what we did, and we've had these ahas and breakthroughs, and then the mind goes, did you really? Are you sure? Didn't it show up again in the past? Haven't you repeated that? Have you really taken care of it? Are you done punishing yourself? Do you deserve what you're wanting to create? I mean, the list goes on of what our mind can tell us. And so it's important that we get out of our head, that we get out of our mind. We allow our mind to take control too often. It's time to get in our bodies, our heart, our gut. That's where our intuition resides, is within our body, not up here. And our intuition is our superpower. So how can you get in your body? Can sound funny, but an easy, deep breathing. I recommend setting the alarm on your phone at least 3 times a day. And when that alarm goes off, you stop what you're doing and you do 5 to 10, 15 deep breaths, depending on how much time you have. That will help get you out of your head into your body, and you'll feel your stress level come down. And it can help us say no to the craziness that our mind wants to tell us. So Danielle, the belief for you, it is safe to be in your body, and start setting the alarm on your phone to check in and do deep breathing, minimum like 3 times a day. Let me know what you think about that. Let's see. So Melissa says, first time being here. What I said just gave her chills. Okay, so she says she seems to be stuck. Melissa, when you say that you seem to be stuck, let me see if I need more information. And I'm seeing some other comments down here. 53. Okay, she's beating herself up. Okay, so I want to make sure that I am keeping these comments. So Melissa says she seems to be stuck. Let me see if I need more information. No. Okay. Is there something to check in and address with Melissa today? Yes. Is it safe to do so? Yes. Okay. I like to check when it's safe because sometimes it's not. So for various reasons, but I am getting that it's safe. All right. So what is there to share with Melissa? Is it a belief statement? Yes. Okay. So Melissa, for you, the belief statement, and this I think is the superpower of belief statements. I am safe. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm sitting here in my office. Of course I'm safe. Or you might be sitting at home. Of course you're safe. There's not somebody trying to attack me. So what could I be talking about? I am safe is referring to being safe physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, what we're consciously aware of, and what is in our subconscious. What is in our subconscious can come from when we were 2 or 12. It can come and be given to us from our ancestors. It can come from past lives. So it can be something that you are absolutely not aware of. But when you are moving through your day, when you're making decisions, when you're trying something new, and you're feeling anxiety and stress and wondering, why is it just not coming together? If there's an aspect of you that does not feel safe within your body and being, our nervous system is going to limit what we do. It's going to limit our environment, limit our experiences, because it wants you to be safe. It's one of its purposes, one of its major purposes, to keep us safe. So, Melissa, the belief statement, I am safe, set it as an intention every day. Use it as an affirmation. And I say Melissa because I'm answering her comments, but this is relevant for everyone. This is a game changer. Use it as an intention. Use it as a mantra, an affirmation. Use it with deep breathing, feeling connected and in your body. You are safe. I revisit I am safe every day, sometimes numerous times a day, especially if I'm doing something new and bigger and different and outside my comfort zone, meeting new people. I'm going to go back to I am safe because everything else is going to be easier and come together easier when I am safe in my body, in my being, in all ways. All right, let me see. I'm going to jump ahead here. Okay, Bridget's wondering if I have anything for her. It seems like Danielle and Melissa are having, they're recognizing some common grounds with each other, which is not unusual. We are all connected. We're one. Okay, Melissa says the same thing. She beats herself up from things that occurred in her childhood. We often do that. That's not unusual. So let me see if there's anything else I can add about that. Yes. Okay, again, if you're just joining, say hello. Let me know where you're from. If you're still here, you can say still here. And if you've got questions or comments, post them below. I will respond to them. And if for some reason the live ends and I haven't gotten to everything, then I will get to it. I'll either respond to it as a message or I will keep those questions or comments and address it in a future live. So childhood trauma. Is there something else for me to share? Yes. Okay. Another belief that I use that's big. I forgive myself. This one, another superpower. We punish ourselves, we beat ourselves up, we do it constantly, day in and day out. So right now, for everybody who's here, wherever you are, I want you to say to yourself, ideally out loud, I forgive myself. And for those things that you've been beating yourself up about, wipe the slate clean. It is time to say, I am not bringing that into today. When you get up tomorrow and it wants to start coming up, it's time to say, no, I am not bringing that in today. I have forgiven myself. It's done. All right. Let's see. Bridget says, do I have anything for her? Do I have anything for Bridget? And I do get yes. Okay, and a belief statement. All right. Now I've been adding to my list of beliefs these statements that I use for a number of years now. They come from my own experiences and from working with individuals like yourself. So the belief statement for Bridget is, it is safe for me to write my truth. Again, we're going back to being safe. And it is safe for me to write my truth. So Bridget, what's coming up for you is that person or persons that there's things that you want to say and that you can't say for some reason. You feel like it might, and I'm going to keep this kind of general too for others. It could be because they've already passed. It could be because you think it's going to make it worse in some way. Another reason could be, well, you're scared or you don't want to be hurt again. Let me see, are there other reasons? No, those are the main reasons. Then what I want you to do is I want you to write out what you would say if you could. Write it all out. No judgment around it, no filtering. If you go to write something and you think, oh, I can't say this, It goes on the paper. You write it. This is not a time to be tactful and politically correct and polite. And this is a time to say what you would say if you could. Write it out. It is safe for you to write your truth. It may not be true for somebody else, but it's your truth. And it's important to give yourself that voice and also to help move the pain, the hurt, the trauma, the stuff out of you to make room for awesome, good, fun things, happiness, joy, abundance to come into your life, health. Let me know what you think of that, Bridget, if you are still here. I see Danielle's replying to Melissa. There's a difference in age. I can tell you from doing this work that age doesn't matter. Yeah, we're all on our own path of healing, and we're not alone. We're not alone in it. Okay, let's see. Vicky says, hi. Would love it if you're drawn to me. Okay, let me see if there's something for Vicky. Yes, there is something for Vicky. And I would love to know where you're from. So if you haven't said where you're from, please post that, because I like to see, where people are coming in from. All right, so for Vicky, we're going to go to a belief statement for Vicky too. Okay, for Vicky, it is the belief statement we're going to work with. I am perfect and complete in this moment. I am perfect and complete in this moment. You know, we often hear about perfection, and somebody's a perfectionist, and we strive for perfection. This is not what I'm talking about when I say I am perfect and complete in this moment. There is not a vision of you that you hope to get to, that, you've arrived at perfection. This is saying, owning, believing, knowing that who you are and how you are in this moment is perfect and complete. It may not feel beautiful. It may not feel like your best. It may be painful. It may not be anything that you want to be experiencing in the moment. But who you are in this moment and the next moment is perfect and complete. We're wanting to get better. We're wanting to do more. We're wanting to expand, heal, make more money, get a better job. I mean, you name it. There's always something that says it's somewhere else. And that's part of the problem, is we're not okay and loving and supporting and accepting of who we are right now. And that's so important. So for Vicky, the belief statement, I am perfect and whole. I'm perfect and complete in this moment, is the belief for you and for anyone else that resonates with. Again, all of these beliefs are beliefs that I use for myself at times. Depends on the day. It depends on what's going on. It depends on what I'm feeling and called to. But this is an excellent reminder that keeps us present and reminds us to love and support ourselves like ourselves in each and every moment, to be present with that. Let me see if there's anything else for Vicky. No. Let me know what you think of that, Vicky. And then Terry has joined. Hello, Terry, if you're still here. Oh, Danielle says, I don't know why, but I am in tears right now. And I'm sitting here saying, awesome. Sounds strange. that I'm happy that Danielle is in tears. To me, this is a sign of healing. It's one of the reasons that sometimes we don't follow what we're called to do, or follow how we're called to be, or to follow through on something, or be willing to look at this thing about ourselves that we try to hide and ignore and stuff somewhere. And it's because it feels scary, because there's a lot of emotion to it. And so we've compartmentalized it. We've put it in a box and kind of, tucked it away in hopes that we can just keep going about our day and things are going to be good. If we keep stuffing those emotions down in there, at some point we're going to reach capacity and those emotions are going to come out. Now, if you're not taking care of yourself, they often come out at kind of the worst time, in times that we don't want it to come out. Right now, with Danielle sharing that she's in tears, that tells me healing is in the process of happening now. By just this little conversation that we've had, healing is happening. And it's releasing things that are no longer serving Danielle and opening space for new beliefs, new behaviors, new patterns, new experiences, the stuff that we want to create and be living in our lives. So often what I remind people in my sessions with them, especially when we first start working together or in my groups, is if emotions are coming up, don't stuff them. Don't shut them off. Don't tune them out. Let them flow, because it's going to be the easiest time for those emotions to be released. They're coming up for a reason. It's time. I encourage it. It's healing. It's loving to you. So let them flow. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to go on. Oh, thank you so much, Danielle. Danielle goes on to say, I feel like you have just helped me more than anyone in my life ever has. I really appreciate that, you sharing that. When I first started doing these pop-up lives, they were scary. They were like super scary, because I'm like, I'm going to meet people who I've never met. And they're going to be asking me questions, and I don't know anything about them. And can I really make a difference? Can it really make a difference what I have to share? And so thank you for confirming that, doing this is super important. All right. Jan says, hi, anything for me? And I will get back to Jan. Bridget, I don't know if you heard me. I see a message, and I know some of the messages are coming up and I'm getting to them later. But I did address some things with you, Bridget, and I don't know, maybe you got knocked off or you weren't there. I did answer some things for you. So once this is done, if you didn't hear when I was addressing you and talking to you, I did. So you can go back and watch the video. I'd like to say I remember exactly what I said to you, but I don't. And that's not unusual, because this information doesn't come from me. It doesn't come from my mind. It's not something I think about. It's information that I receive to pass on to you. So, well, it comes through me. It's not me. So I can't always remember details. It's one of the reasons for videos, because then I can go back and watch myself. So Bridget, I did answer you. I did not miss you. So know that information is there. Okay, so talking about Jan. Let me see, is there something for Jan? Yes, is it safe for me to proceed? Yes. Okay, we're going to address some beliefs with Jan as well. like I said, this is a foundation of a lot of the healing work that I do for myself and with clients. It points us into a direction, and if our beliefs are not aligned, we can be doing a lot of work that's not getting us the results we'd expect, and it's because it's essentially not a clear signal. It's not a clear pathway. There's a distortion to it because it's out of alignment when our beliefs are blocked and or we're operating under a different belief. So let me see which is coming up for Jan. Okay, for Jan, the belief that's coming up is I attract ease into all areas of my life. And I'm getting that there are some blocks to that, which is not unusual. Many of us, were raised that hard work is what paid off. So when things feel too easy, it feels like something's wrong. And I'm getting that there's some blocks in the way of Jan attracting ease into her life. So what I'm going to do right now before I continue is I'm going to clear those blocks. Okay, I attract ease into all areas of my life. Okay, so now that belief, I've cleared out the blocks for Jan. So that belief is aligned physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, consciously and subconsciously. And it's an open pathway for her to more easily attract ease into her life. Basically cleared out the clutter for that. So now as you move forward, Jan, can let some of the hard go, the struggle go, for ease to come in. Let me see if there's anything else for Jan. Yes. I attract ease into all my areas of my life. As I mentioned with some of the other beliefs, it can be used as an intention, an affirmation, a mantra. And I'm actually receiving a recommendation, Jan, and that is spend the next like 4 days just looking and paying attention to where ease is showing up in your life. So when you find yourself like, oh, like that's hard, that or that's a struggle, or that's not going well, where is ease showing up? I did this with a client. This was a recommendation for them, I want to say a couple months ago. And when I talked to her in our follow-up session, she said, wow. She's like, I was missing ease in my life all day, every day. I just wasn't seeing it. And as I paid attention to where ease was showing up, I realized it was showing up more and more. So again, if this resonates for you, Jan, let me know. And for anybody else who's hearing this, if you're thinking, oh yes, please bring on the ease, feel free to use this for yourself as well. All right, let's see. Daphne. Daphne is in New Zealand. Well, welcome, Daphne. I'm glad to have you here. And let's see. Is there something for Daphne? Yes. Is it safe to proceed? Yes. Okay. Okay, we're going to address beliefs for Daphne. And the belief for Daphne, I love myself unconditionally as I am. Again, that belief, I love myself unconditionally as I am. Another super important belief to, well, I would say to learn to love ourselves in this moment, no matter what, unconditionally. And I'm getting that there's some blocks to that for Daphne. So Daphne, I'm going to clear those blocks. Okay, I love myself unconditionally as I am. Okay, now I'm getting that that has been cleared. Is there something else for Daphne? Yes. Is it another belief? Yes. All right. Another belief for you, Daphne. It is fun to be successful and abundant. Okay, and I'm getting that there's some blocks there too, so I'm going to clear those as well. Okay, it is fun to be successful and abundant. All right, now I'm getting that that's clear for Daphne. Are there other beliefs to address for Daphne? No. Okay, so Daphne, where's the fun? Where's the fun in your workday? Where's the fun in your life? I have a saying that I will share with people at times is follow the fun. So if you're making decisions at work or if you're an entrepreneur, if something feels fun, pay attention to that. In your life, I know there was a period of time when I was going to school full time, I was working full time, I was sleeping about 4 hours a night because I was doing all of that, and I had a long commute, and it was like fun, like where, when, and what I've come to learn, and because I was doing that, when I was no longer going to school and working full time, I often forgot to put fun back into my life as more time became available. And I've learned the importance of following the fun. So if it puts a smile on your face, if you think like, oh yeah, that seems like fun, pay attention to that. Even if it seems unrelated to what you might be trying to achieve or the results you're looking for, the changes you're wanting to make in your life or business, it may seem unrelated and it's not. So follow the fun. Let me see, is there anything else for Daphne? No. Okay, and I'm getting the message to jump in here for a moment. We're talking a lot about beliefs today, and beliefs are absolutely a foundation of my work, for me personally, and of how I support the people like yourself that I work with the clients that I work with. And it's a piece of it. There is, with some of the clearing that you've been hearing me do tonight, clearing out the blocks, that is another aspect of the work that I do with clients, is helping individuals to develop their own way of clearing what's no longer serving, of clearing what's getting in the way, of clearing those challenges, and of being able to heal the past traumas and experiences that have resulted in us often have those conversations that are not helpful or supportive, usually judgmental and critical, and also those conversations that have us saying no to ourselves, limiting ourselves, ignoring our own voice, and putting more priority to others before ourselves. So that's another piece of the work that I do with clients that I work with. Okay, so Melissa goes on to say, oh, she doesn't feel safe where she is in life. Okay, her sister and her mother have passed away. They were a source of safety. She says she has 3 great brothers. It's just not the same. I need to be okay so I can move past this lonely feeling like I'm alone in the world. Well, Melissa, I am so glad that you joined us tonight because you are absolutely not alone in the world. We, as you said, we are connected. You felt it. There's a reason for that. And what I would say, I am safe. Keep revisiting that intention. Keep revisiting that as a mantra. Because the place to start is with you being safe with you. no matter who's around or not around. I would also add, I don't know if you speak to your mom and sister even though they have passed away, or if you've considered that. Let me know if you've talked to your mom and your sister since they've passed. Okay. Jan asks, is spirit there for you or for her? Yes, I do get yes, Jan, that spirit is absolutely there for you. I can remember, now it's been a few years, this particular example I'm going to share. There was one day that I was so mad at the universe that I literally started yelling. And I was like, universe! And I just was like, ah! And a friend of mine said, you can't yell at the universe. I said, I can too. I am yelling at the universe. And I just let it rip. And my hands were going and I was yelling because I felt so unsupported from the universe. I felt like I was showing up. I was doing the work. I was taking care of, like I was doing it. And nothing. We are absolutely supported from the universe. The challenge comes in is we want things now. And that's not always the plan. It's not always the path. That's part of it. The other piece, or the question that I would ask you, is if you look at your past, can you say it always works out? That at some point it comes together. At some point you go like, I'm okay. That's a sign that spirit is there. It hasn't left you. Sometimes what happens is we get disconnected from it, or we lose our awareness of it. Let me see. I'm making a note. There's another video. I know I've got to post the video that I created earlier as a Facebook Live. And then there's also a video that I've created that is an exercise that was passed to me that helps us reconnect. And I'm pointing to my heart, my body, to reconnect to spirit, to reconnect to universe, to God, to love, to health, to healing, to abundance, to you fill in the blank. So if you are interested in getting that video, that's the exercise to have you or support you in reconnecting to spirit, to the universe, to abundance, to healing, to love. What I'd like you to do is send me a private message. And let me see, what do I want you to say? Say spirit. Send me a private message with the word spirit in it, and I will get that video to you. Thank you, Jan, for the question. Okay, and Bridget says, I will do that exercise tomorrow. She says she's still here. Okay, great. As I was saying, that the messages might have gotten, because the messages are ahead of where I'm speaking. She also says, thank you for the positive vibe and information. It's great, thank you. And she lives in the UK. Well, thank you so much, Bridget, for joining. And Jan says, I'm from England. I love this. Ruth Ann goes on to say, I'm 76, yet no different from anyone else. I write because when I see what I have written often, it's more clear. I view my shifts, I allow the opening to shift. It's a valuable tool. Because I know I shared about writing, that it's safe to write my truth as one of the beliefs. Oh, she says 75. Well, Ruth Ann, I never would have guessed you were 75. So thank you again for sharing that. And Nancy's joined. Nancy says hello. Welcome, Nancy. So glad to have you here. If you have a question or comment, and for anybody else who has not yet asked a question or had something to share, if you feel called to, please do, and I will respond. Hello, Melanie. Welcome if you're still here. Jan says thank you. Melissa was saying one of the other affirmations I shared was great for her as well. And again, like I said, these belief statements that I've shared with you, I use them for myself daily. Not all of them, because now my list is, I think, over 150. So I don't use them all every day, but they do come around. I need reminders. I need to clear things. I need to realign them. You're so welcome, Daphne. It was so good having you here. Hey, Kel, she's joined. Okay, and Melissa's answering one of my questions. She says, I asked her if she had talked to her sister and her mom who have passed, and she says, I haven't talked to them. I don't know how to talk to them. I've prayed that they would visit my dreams. My sister visited my dreams one time right after she passed, and it was the sweetest moment. I tried not to wake up so she wouldn't leave. Okay, so let me see what I'm being called to ask. Melissa, one of the reasons I asked you that is your mom and your sister are available to talk to you. And it is my belief, and it's been my experience, that those who have passed are still, in most cases, available for us to communicate with, and in some cases, interact with. My nephew passed away. It's been more than 5 years now. He was 17 when he passed, and he had been sick for, I guess, about 3 years. And, when he was growing up, they live in Massachusetts. I'm here in North Carolina. And whenever I would visit, we'd hang out, we'd play, it'd be cool. And then, of course, he enters his teen years. And like most teens, he wants to be with his friends. It's great that his aunt is coming to visit, but he doesn't want to spend the entire day with me. So in the last few years, he was a teenager. After he passed, I communicated more with him than I had consistently in the few years prior to his passing. I would go visit, I would spend time. The quality was different than when he was younger. And he actually just visited me beginning of June. It was his birthday. And he's a jokester. He scared me, which is not, which is something that he always used to try to do with me. And never could when he was still with us, but he did that night. He knocked outside my bedroom window, and my bedroom is on the second floor. So I realized who it was. I talked to my family members who have passed. I talked to friends who have passed. My wife has family that visits pretty regularly, all who have passed. And so it is something that we sometimes joke, because we talk about them and communicate with them almost as if we were on a cell phone, sending text messages or having a quick call. And that's what I want to pass to you, is that can be available to you and those who have passed already. And Melissa, that's what I'm being told to share with you, is start talking to them. Start talking to them as if you had picked up the phone and were, checking in or connecting. And they're there. They're there. And you'll start to receive what they have something to say. You'll start to, I'm being told this now, sense them. You'll start to recognize them when they're there. All right. Jan says thank you. And you're very welcome, Jan. Bridget says she's found my affirmations very positive and helpful to listen. Also great to have your message about writing things down. I already do that, maybe to do it a little bit more often. Absolutely, do it more often. There's a book called The Artist Way, and one of the practices in that book is what she calls morning pages. And I can't think of the name of the author, and the book's around here somewhere because I do morning pages. And morning pages are writing for about 30 minutes or 3 pages longhand, and it's just writing whatever comes. It helps clear our mind, and it can be an excellent way, again, to move out things we're feeling, things we'd want to say but can't. It gives us an avenue for expression. And Bridget, one of the things that's coming up is don't censor yourself. This is not something that you're giving to the people that we're talking about. This is something for you and your health and well-being. So say it. Just be direct, say it. Melissa says, I didn't realize you were in North Carolina. Melissa, I think you said Hayward County, right? I am in Asheville. I live in, I guess it's considered South Asheville, not far from Biltmore Village off Sweeten Creek, to give you, as I put the information out there. This is where I live. No. Of course, you can't find me. Sweeten Creek is a long street if you are from the area. So, but yes, I am in North Carolina, and I suspect probably not too far from each other if you're in Hayward County. All right, let me see. Oh, Ruth Ann said, she sent me a message, Ruth Ann did, that she had to leave real quick. So she's no longer with us. And it seems like I've gotten through everybody's questions and comments at this point. If there's anybody here who has not said hello, please do. If we're friends and you've commented, I can see that you've been here or are here. If we're not, and there are a lot of new people who have came on tonight, like right now I see that I have a number of people watching, but I don't know who that is, because if we're not friends and you have not commented, I don't know that you're here. So if you haven't said something up till now, and feel called to, then please do. And we've had a lot of interaction. I love all the questions. I love all the sharing tonight. This is how healing happens. And as I've shared with the comments, what's happening for one person resonates with someone else. And an affirmation that I'm sharing with somebody else resonates with you. That's the way healing can work. And it is part of what I do with the group healing that I do. Often what comes up for one person or what one person shares is relevant to everybody else who's there in the group, which leads me to share, and I'll post the details below. I have a monthly event that I hold in person in the Asheville area, and that's a group healing. It's similar to what's happened here. I move from person to person. Sometimes there's some group work or some group messaging, and then I ask individuals, and we do that in person in a group in Asheville, and I do that once a month. And then I also have a virtual group that I do through Zoom calls, videos, that is a 2-hour, both of them are 2-hour groups. And I hold one of each of those per month. So if you want more of this, that is one way of doing it, is to join those groups. I have some people who every single month they're in my group. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the next virtual one, I just had the in-person one Monday night, but the next virtual one is this upcoming Tuesday, the 16th. So if you are interested in doing this, I would say at a deeper level, because we know who's there, and it's 2 hours. I'm going to be wrapping up here pretty quick. My voice starts to tell me that it's done enough talking. It's heard itself enough. But that would be an option if you want to do more of this. I also have a group program, and I also work with people one-to-one. So, and I have some courses coming out on developing your intuition and, well, a few others. But the first one that's going to come out is talking about developing your intuition. So if any of those things are something that you're interested in, you can comment below. And of course, if you didn't hear me and you're just joining, if you want my video of how to connect to spirit, abundance, health, healing, love, it comes from a place of, let me see, I'm getting up in my head, so I gotta get out of my head. We have everything within us that we need. Spirit's always there. The universe is always there. We're fully supported, but sometimes we get disconnected from it. So I created a video with the exercise that I received about how to reconnect and regain that awareness that you are fully supported. So if you want that video, then send me a private message that says spirit, or in the comments, type the word spirit, and I will get that sent to you. All right, let me see. So Jan says, I talk all the time to spirit. She's like, she feels them all around me. I understand you there, Janet. Because, like I said, sometimes I feel like we have a house full of family members and friends from my family and from my wife's. Melissa says, thank you so much. I do pretty well usually. Every now and then it feels huge, and that's how the last few days have felt. She says, I'm feeling better now, so thank you. Well, thank you, Melissa, for sharing. Melissa says, no worries, you promised not to stalk me, that I'm safe as well. Thank you so much. All right. She said, have a great evening. And it seems like it is a perfect opportunity to wrap things up here, since I don't see any more questions or comments coming through. If you're watching a recording of this and you're wanting the video, comment spirit or send that comment to me. If anybody who has been on here tonight or watches later is wondering about working with me, either in one of my group programs or one-to-one, then you can also send me a private message and we can start that conversation. We'll set up a time that we can get on the phone and we can talk about whether or not we're a good fit and if I can help you, and basically drill down to what's really going on. So we can absolutely do that. And Rachel just jumped on. She says, hi, new here. Well, welcome, Rachel. I was just wrapping up because I have been talking now for over an hour, but let me see if there's something quick that's coming up for you, because I do believe that we connect for a reason. And I do get yes. So, and I get that it is a belief. And I don't know how, if you've been here and you've heard some of the other things that I've said, feel free, Rachel, once I wrap this up to go back and listen to this video because there was jam-packed tonight. Oh, so powerful. And we talk about beliefs, and I have one for you. Let me see which one it is. Okay, and the belief. Okay, the belief that's coming up, I create and live my own success. That's the belief that's coming through for you. And I get that there's some blocks to that, so I'm going to clear those blocks. Okay, I create and live my own success. Now I get that that's clear. And I mean clear physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, consciously and subconsciously, that it's aligned for you to step more fully into that belief of I create and live my own success. I don't know if that resonates for you. If it does, let me know. And I do have, oh, I didn't share this. I have a virtual group next week, as I mentioned, and I'm also doing a pop-up. I'm doing a pop-up at 5:30. So I will post both those links here. So that way you know I'm coming back and we can connect then. And Rachel, if you have other specific questions or comments, feel free to comment and post them, and I will get back to you on it. My voice is starting to tell me it's time to stop talking because I've talked to clients today and I created some videos today, and now I've been talking tonight and it's saying it's time to quit. And I've learned to listen to myself. Oh, she says, well, Rachel says, she got a quick question. Will I get my apartment soon? I do get yes. Let me see if there's a time range. Yes. Is it days? No. Days? No. Weeks? Yes. How many? Okay, Rachel, I get 2 to 4 weeks as a time range for your new apartment. Thanks for the question. All right, everybody, it's been so good to talk to all of you and connect with all of you. And thank you for showing up in courage and in vulnerability and connecting with each other and with me. It's been awesome. I've loved it. I'm sending health and love and ease and transformation and getting results. Until we connect again, I'll talk to you then.